And I had a couple of people in my comments being like, how dare you? Like they were so mad that I suggested that there might be a slide there.
Something that she was unhappy about is lack of communication between the WRC and them.
The
Especially during the
WRC
process of
and
them.
Yihang's mum. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool, got you.
Yeah. And if there is any communication, it was always in English, and it was very difficult for them to understand what the WRC was trying to say.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that. Can I tell you something I experienced? And this, it made people angry then, and it'll make people angry now, probably. But that's okay. I'm a big boy. I can deal with it. I've often wondered about that, about the language barriers, and sitting back and looking at the whole thing and going, is there a bias thing here? Because we seem to be looking really in depth at specifically Chinese competitors. You can argue with me if you want. Oh no, they investigated more people as well. But I made a comment that I thought, in my opinion, only my opinion, I thought I didn't like young Theodore, who has the WR single. I was looking at his and I made a comment like, that looks like a slide to me. And I had a couple of people in my comments being like, how dare you? Like they were so mad that I suggested that there might be a slide there. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen evidence of it, but I have been told that apparently that slide has that solve, not that slide. It's not a slide. That solve has been investigated by the WRC. Dylan's already in the chat going, it's clean. I hear you, and I accept that. But I said all I did was mention that I thought that was worth looking at as well. No shade on little Theodore at all. But it was really interesting to me as someone who is making English language content to a mostly English language audience. And nobody ever has an issue with me talking about Yihang. Never once have I had a comment from someone going, how dare you come at Yihang? But as soon as I mentioned Theodore once, people got mad. So that was my experience of a bias. I was like, oh, this is obviously anecdotal and a very small sample size, but I was like, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So bringing up the language thing, I can get that, and I can see why she would feel at a disadvantage in that position. I feel for
And
her.
I know it's difficult for the WCA because we're not a big organization. And so having standard communication in English, I think at this point does make sense. But in most other, I think, global associations or organizations, usually they have multiple official languages, like English, French, Chinese, Arabic, maybe. Make it better because most people might not speak very well English, but usually there's a proficiency in some other language. I don't know if the WCA plans on improving the communication in other languages. To be honest, I think that the focus of the WCA is still mostly on English-speaking languages, to be honest. Sorry, in English-speaking regions, and they put a lot less focus and they have a lot less reach in other regions.
Sorry, I'm just looking something up because we did look at this on the we had a look at this on another stream recently. They have regulations in Chinese. I can't remember where I saw this other page, but there was like language.
And the translations for regulations are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the communications part, I don't think that they do any. Maybe they have communications in Spanish as well. For South America.
Well, I remember seeing a specific list about their announcements, and I think they do announcements. I believe. I don't want to get this wrong. People don't like it when I bagged on the WCA, and I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to find out what the facts are. But I'm pretty sure I saw Arabic, Russian, Spanish, and one other, but it wasn't Chinese. That's all I'm saying. In their sort of announcement stuff. But I'm struggling to find where I saw that now. It's on another stream of mine, but yeah. Essentially, I can understand why she would feel at a disadvantage based on that, is what you said. So sorry, I sidetracked with my own little story, but you started saying about receiving stuff from the WRC. The communication between the WRC and her was suboptimal.
Yeah, it was. Yes, very both poor in terms of the information that the input that they had, and also the language. For instance, she mentioned that they had very high quality video of several of the incidents, which was the WC didn't even ask to get the evidence apparently.
Yeah, no, I did see that on
And
Billy
they
Billy.
used,
She's got 120 frame per second. Yeah.
right. And so that definitely seems like there could have been much better communication. And actually, regarding the evidence at Asian Championships, I don't know if you saw, but they actually installed a separate camera that's 240 frames per second that just looks at the timer, just essentially to show, look, his timer stops are fine.
Whoa. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's big.
Whenever he solves, before he solved, they would install a camera on his station that would look just at his hands and the timer stops.
The
And that
organizers
also,
did that,
I was
or
thinking,
Yiheng's mom?
so Ying's mom did that,
Okay, cool.
from what I
Sorry.
understand.
Yeah, cool.
But I also spoke to the organizers, to one of the delegates, anyways, from the competition yesterday. And that's something that they mentioned, that it also adds a lot of pressure to the organizers, because with all this incident, it makes it that not only do we have to look at the results from the stack mats, which was previously the standard, like if you use the stack mat and everything looks fine, it's fine. But now, even before Ihan went in any round, there was the footage, and they would have to review the footage frame by frame, essentially, for all of Ihang's solves.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Because
And they'd have to do that before he went into the next round. Because otherwise, if he'd get a DNF at a solve, he wouldn't be able to get to the next round.
yes. And so the delegates don't want to get pulled up for not doing their job correctly because Yiheng's in the competition and people are watching him through a microscope.
Right. And so it's very demanding for Yiheng. And so a theme that I also discussed with them is that it's not really fair that they only have to look at that for Yiheng and nobody else.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's actually not fair.
And then if you do look at it for everyone else, then that is way too many resources. So with the new ruling that you can look that you can look at the frame by frame analysis for solves, it just puts the standards so much higher than it used to be. And so in theory, for everybody who's fast, you'd have to get clear video evidence of every solve and analyze them before they even make the next round. That is the way that it was seen by many people at the competition. There wasn't this seemingly this obligation to do this for any other competitors, because everybody's just looking at Yiheng, so they only did it for Yiheng, as far as I know, for this competition. But it was also quite demanding, and it also seems unfair.
Yeah. Huh. Are we gonna swing inside with the board? Are we gonna swing backwards and go, we have created a situation where all our competitors aren't competing under fair and equal conditions? Is that a side effect of this, that Yiheng is not competing in fair and equal conditions with everyone else?
And I think also a thing is that really we should have more standard and easier to I don't know how to put it, but like, for example, before everyone just used the stack mat and it was fine. Now, I mean, some competitors, the stack mat isn't good enough. You also have to have high quality footage from that can then be analyzed. That doesn't seem to be sustainable for WCA competitions either. And we need to have a way that you can use a standardized device like it was before, that just everybody uses, then it's fine. I think whether it's just using 4-pad mode, WCA provides extra assistance for areas that don't have 4-pad timers yet, and then we just go with 4-pad. That's a way forward. But what we have right now, it doesn't seem to be like it's a sustainable kind of approach.
Yeah, that is a sort of unintended consequence of the community's demands. Not that I'm saying it was wrong necessarily. Not that I'm saying anything necessarily. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more. I stream once a week and I release videos pretty much every day. Also use code CUBECAST to save 5% at speedcubeshop.com, Cubing Life Academy, speedcube.nz, lastlayercubing.com. Have fun, solve cubes, and I'll catch you in the next one.